We are a species that wastes and rarely thinks of the consequences. Who here takes the time to think about the waste they produce? Who would take the time to think about where that empty cheese whiz jar will end up? I mean, it should be rinsed and recycled, but that is besides the point. Canadians. Unfortunately, Canada produces more garbage per capita than any other country in the world. Oh, Canada, our home and garbage dump. Not to mention the countless amount of human beings that put recyclables in the garbage. I think that we could make a huge difference by changing the way we dispose of our garbage. What if we all had a compost? For those of you who may be unfamiliar with composting, you simply recycle organic materials like vegetable and fruit scraps with soil in a compost bin. That soil becomes rich. It is a rich soil and perfect for gardening. Imagine having your own home garden to grow vegetables, fruits, and flowers in. You wouldn't have to worry about the dangers of pesticides because you are the one who's growing it. Plus, you would save money. Fortunately, composting is a growing trend. Did you know that 61% of Canadian households had participated in some form of composting in 2011? To put the success into perspective, only 23% participated in 1994. Why don't we put this composting to good use? Why don't we use composting to create energy? We use coal, oil, and natural gas, and we've finally come to realize that the burning of fossil fuels is not sustainable. The utilization of wind power, solar power, and water power are the wiser choices, just like using soil and decomposing veggies would be a wise choice, not to mention much more sustainable. The soil would be rich in nutrients. The energy produced would leave no carbon footprint. Rotting food may not leave the most appealing scent, but the earth sure appreciates you treating her right. Now bear with me, because my idea may seem like a stretch, but let's be honest here. Every single creation, everything on this planet, no matter how far-fetched, no matter how complicated, started with an idea. Steve Jobs, Leonardo da Vinci, Martin Luther King, and Thomas Edison, their ideas have changed the world. I believe that mine may change the world as well. I'm obviously in the early stages of my idea. I'm not even sure my invention is physically possible. Nonetheless, it is innovative and original. Complicated, I'm sure. I'm going to break my big idea down so that you guys understand exactly what it's all about and how I picture it. I imagine myself in my home flicking the light on in the kitchen. The light is not powered by burning fossil fuels. The electricity in my home is powered by a compost machine in my backyard. I picture a large bin, maybe the size of a food trough for horses, except with a lid on it. This is sort of what I picture, except attached to my home. It would be more like a machine than a stationary wooden box. The compost bin would grind together the rich soil and organic materials. The grinding of the compost would release the nutrients, thus producing a form of energy. Since I do not have the time to hand grind the contents of the compost myself, I figured the use of solar panels to power the compost machine would be quite efficient. I picture a large solar pan attached to the lid of the compost. In other words, when I'm not lifting the lid to add more materials, the machine is using the energy from the sun to power itself. I also imagine that the process of absorbing nutrients through grinding compost would be quite slow. I doubt that it would have enough power to keep up with me leaving every single light on in my house 24/7, but I don't do that. And I know that if this idea came to life, I would be a lot more careful with how I'm using energy. Living responsibly is very important to me, and saving money is also pretty important. I'm cheap. What can I say? The only costly part about this whole idea is building the machine, because power from the sun is free and soil is practically free. But I would be able to responsibly produce electricity for my household and appliances. This car, the Tesla. Most of you may be familiar with the Tesla. It is an electric-powered vehicle. It is sustainable and energy efficient. Sadly, the vehicle appeals to a specific target audience. Not to mention, they're insanely priced. I mean, you're probably saving more money driving a Tesla in the long run than a gasoline-powered vehicle. Imagine all of the money that you're spending in a year on gas, plus the detrimental effects that burning gasoline has on the environment. What if we had the chance to purchase an affordable energy-efficient vehicle? I think that my big idea can be applied to means of transportation. The whole solar panel edition may be needed as well, but imagine under the hood of a Ford F-150 was a compost compartment. It would be dirty, but who cares? Getting a little dirty never hurt anybody, and getting a little dirty in order to sustainably drive around town is definitely not hurting anyone. Powering your home and vehicle would be simple as ever. As a vegan, it would be quite easy to maintain a full compost. All of my meal scraps would be fruit and vegetable leftovers, along with other plant-based foods. And for omnivores, the compost luckily takes animal bones, meat, shellfish, and donuts. We can power the planet through decomposing organic materials. Imagine a sustainable, energy-efficient environment. That's my big idea. Everyone go home and create a compost.